No.
They changed their names.
Why should they be Zionists?
Because they hide their identity.
But
Because they're evil.
Zionists?
Zelensky is a Zionist today in Ukraine.
Zelensky is another question, but that doesn't mean that the Soviet Communist Party was Zionist. That's all I'm saying. I'm just disputing that issue.
Right, okay. Well, look, he's not.
You know.
No. Listen, I'll debate. Well, I believe it is true, right? But all right, well, we'll debate about it, right? But look, it is a big deal. It is a big deal because the Ukrainians blame the Russians to this day, and it's a bit like I was going to say. It's a bit like slavery, right?
The Ukrainians did it to themselves.
Well, how would they do it to themselves?
They were Soviet Ukrainians.
But they were Zionists as well.
Who would starve themselves to death?
They didn't starve them to death. What happened was the wealthy peasants didn't want to hand over the grain to the urban areas, and therefore they slaughtered the animals. And because of that, the people starved. Because they slaughtered the animals. Because the wealthy peasants didn't want to give up their position.
Of course they wouldn't. They wouldn't.
They could have done. It depends how you do it. They did it wrong, in my opinion, the way they did it.
But a lot of these people you say are Ukrainians, it's a bit like a guy called Benjamin Milikowski. Who is Benjamin Milikowski? He doesn't know who Benjamin Milikowski is, right? He's AKA Benjamin Netanyahu, right? So they changed their names. They changed. Well, these so-called Ukrainians,
you're jumping
probably
subject.
Zionists.
No.
They changed their names.
Why should they be Zionists?
Because they hide their identity. Because they're evil. Zelensky is a Zionist today in Ukraine.
Zelensky is another question, but that doesn't mean that the Soviet Communist Party was Zionist. That's all I'm saying. I'm just disputing that issue.
Right, okay. Well, look, he's not. No. Listen, I'll debate. He knows I debate with him all the time. Right, so we're going to agree to differ on that. Right, I would compare it to slavery, right, where white Englishmen went along with slavery, right, and because they were stupid. Sometimes, like he says, the Ukrainians are a bit stupid.
Like the free market, right?
Say they're stupid.
You rent the machinery from the state, and then you sell your excess on the free market. That was what the Kolkhoz system was. So you have a level of independence.
You like that, do you?
It's it's funny.
It's so true. It's so obvious. I can't believe no one else done it.
I agree with you.
I agree with you with this point.
So look, what I'm saying is, right, eventually the Christians worked it out in England, and a guy called William Wilberforce come along and got rid of slavery, right? And eventually the Russians worked it out and realised communism didn't work, and they brought a guy called Gorbachev who used a word called perestroika, and they didn't collapse. They wanted to end it. Do you agree with that? The Soviet Union didn't collapse. They actually wanted to end it.
No, it internally disintegrated. It wasn't because people wanted to end it.
Oh, I believe it was.
In fact, most people wanted to reform the existing system. They wanted to reform the existing system.
The oligarchs who plundered modern Russia. What do you think? I will tell you what I believe. I believe the only person who can solve this mess that we're in this world, there's one man, and it's not Tommy Robinson, it's not Nigel Farage, and it most definitely...
We know it's Jesus Christ.
And it most definitely is not Donald Trump. There is one man who can figure this all out. And it's the returning king of this world, Jesus Christ.
Is that when we have the apocalypse?
What the Bible says.
I don't know.
What do you have to do? You have to do something before you come.
The Bible says that there is going to be a one world order here at the end of this age, and it's forming now. The people who run this world, the elites of this world, the political elites of all the nations of the West, the powerful nations, they're all in cahoots together, and they all serve their God, and their God is not the God of the Bible, it's the God they know as Lucifer, the fallen angel.
It's an inversion of what's
These elites, and I'm going to shock you about Britain as well, I'll tell you where British comes from. These elites come from a thing called the Holy Roman Empire. and the ruling elites of the major countries of this world
Is this the
are
pagan Roman
from
Empire or the
that
Christian Roman
established extended family. They control trade and commerce, the major banks of the world,
they're
the
called
Federal
Zionists.
Reserves. They come from the Holy Roman Empire, and they are a network of imperialists that are descended from the first emperor, Charlemagne, who was made emperor by God's supposed apostle, the Pope, Leo III, in 800 AD.